Good morning. This is Pastor Zach with the Goodland United Methodist Church with your morning devotion for Monday, February 26th. Today I'll be reading from Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 20. Then God spoke all these words, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. And you shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an idol, whether in the form of anything that is in heaven above, or that is on the earth beneath, or that is the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or worship them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, punishing children for the iniquity of parents, to the third and fourth generation of those who reject me, but showing steadfast love to the thousandth generation of those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not make wrongful use of the name of the Lord your God, for the Lord will not acquit anyone who misuses his name. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. You shall not do any work, you or your son or your daughter, your male or female slave, your livestock, the alien resident in your towns. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them, but rested the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and consecrated it. Honor your father and your mother, so that your days may be long in the land of the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or male or female slave, or ox or donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. When all the people witnessed the thunder and the lightning, the sound of the trumpet, and the mountain smoking, they were afraid and trembled and stood at a distance, and said to Moses, You speak to us, and we will listen, but do not let God speak to us, or we will die. Moses said to the people, Do not be afraid, for God has only come to test you and to put the fear of him upon you so that you do not sin. This is one of the better-known covenants between God and his people, and God's introduction to these words is important for an appropriate understanding. It says, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. The Ten Commandments are not a law code, a body of laws that are meant to float free of their narrative context. This introductory line about redemption, often omitted from printed versions of the Ten Commandments, unfortunately, is recognized in Judaism as the first word. You shall have no other gods before me is the second word. The opening word of God accomplishes several things. It keeps the commandments personally oriented. I am the Lord your God, singular. Obedience to the commandments is relationally conceived. These are words given to you by your God. The law is a gift of God who has redeemed you. The Ten Commandments then are a gracious word of God, and they begin with a word of good news about what God has done on behalf of you as a member of the community of faith. The commandments are to be read through the lens that redemptive confession. God's saving actions have drawn the people of God into a new orbit of life and a blessing to which the people respond by giving a certain commandment shape to their lives. The Ten Commandments are an integral part of the covenant between God and the people at Mount Sinai. This covenant is a specific covenant within the already existing covenant with Abraham. The Sinai covenant does not establish the relationship between Israel and God. Israel has long been God's people when Sinai happens. These commandments are given to an already elected, redeemed, believing, and worshiping community. They have to do with the shape of a daily life on the part of those already in relationship with God. The commandments give shape to Israel's vocation. At the time, the Ten Commandments specify no judicial consequences for disobedience. Their being obligatory is not conditional on them being enforceable. Their appeal is to a deeper grounding and motivation. These are the commands of the Lord your God, who has created you and redeemed you. Have a blessed day.